Hello, welcome to 3/3 Game Nerds. I'm Eric.
I'm Winnie.
I'm Adam.
And on this episode, we're going to talk about one of my personal favorite games, 5 Minute Dungeon.
Tell us a little bit about it.
What is
I didn't
it?
make fun of it.
This game sounds too long.
Basically, you have a deck of cards. Each character has its own deck of cards, and you're trying to go through a single dungeon, which has a boss at the end within 5 minutes. And there's an app that has funny voices.
Yes, I love the voices on the. Eric downloaded the timer app that
Yes.
Right.
counts down the 5 minutes, and they have voices.
Yeah.
It's cooperative play.
Yes.
Yes, which
It's all
means
versus dungeon.
husband and wife don't fight.
Right?
They still fight.
Yeah.
Not really.
No.
Wow. Okay, sleeping on the couch tonight.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is not the Croods. Go ahead.
But,
I hate that movie, by the way. Both of them.
shame on you.
Okay, it's the Winnie and Eric show.
But, basically, like...
Is it an episode if I don't push you out of frame at least
I guess.
once?
Basically, you're trying to go through, and each card has its own little goal to beat it, essentially. And they're basically... Let me get those cards actually out. I don't know why.
Show them the box.
So they have
Show them the box.
they have different symbols.
It's funky shaped.
Yes. And this box has definitely seen better days.
Yeah.
I want to print a new box.
I do. I want to print a new box. But basically, you got a deck of cards for each color, which represents
Characters.
characters.
So scrolls, well, this is what we call them. Scrolls, runners, arrows, and shields are your like resource cards.
Wait, there's only 4? I thought there was
5.
more. Alright.
And basically, you'll play each one to try to get through a certain door in the dungeon to
Right.
get to the boss. And whenever you get to the boss, you have a certain goal to beat on the boss.
There are regular dungeon doors, and then you have like your challenge ones or whatever.
Oh,
that
those.
have the lovely skull on them, and those are ones that have like events that happen, so they can make different things happen.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, and I hate playing with those.
mini bosses.
don't like
discard your hand, pass
Yeah,
your hand.
pass your hand.
All just all those fun things that make the game more
Party
challenging.
Yeah,
Yeah.
believe me, and we're going to get more into the expansion, which I personally haven't had really much experience playing, but it makes it a whole lot harder. A whole lot harder.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, like when we tried to play the expansion,
Yeah.
we were like, we can't play the whole expansion. We got to phase it in to get ourselves used to it, because it was like, how do you win with that? Like we can win
Yeah.
normally when we play with 2 other people, because normally like you can play with 2 to 5 players,
Yeah. Okay.
and we don't play with 2 players really because it's pretty hard.
But the expansion takes it up to 6 people, doesn't
Yes,
Yes.
it makes it a 6-player game.
Because it gives you
Another
another
character.
character card.
it? Okay. So the original only comes with 5 character cards.
Yes.
But they're all 2-sided.
Yes, they're
Yes.
all 2-sided,
So you can
which
pick.
you have the sorceress, wizard on the same one. You have the paladin, Valkyrie on the same one. Gladiator and barbarian and ranger and
Huntress. And then ninja
And
and
the Thief
thief.
Ninja.
Yeah. So
But they each have their own colored deck that the characters on both sides share.
yeah. And they all have their own like little special ability for discarding 3 cards in your hand. Like my personal favorite, which is the wizard.
The Wizard! Another great movie from the 80s.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
So
It's
the ability
It pauses the time. So
Time
bas-
stop.
Yes.
until
It literally says time stop.
and it does
Until someone plays a card.
so you can have a whole discussion and figure out your game plan.
Yes, and something interesting about it is your other player's ability isn't considered playing a card.
Yeah. So you
Oh,
can
what? Really?
Yeah.
You can use your ability. So
I
let's
thought a
talk
card
about.
goes anywhere. That's cards.
So talk about your favorite.
So my favorite is the Thief. Bam. Thieving.
The ability is pickpocket.
Yeah.
What does it do?
So pickpocket, I discard 3 cards to draw 5 cards. So what happens with the thief is I literally will go through my entire deck, which when you run out of cards, literally you're dead?
You're
Yeah,
dead.
that person is dead, so they're useless.
I thought you just stopped playing.
I mean, you do, but you're
Yeah,
technically
You
dead.
can still play what's in your hand.
Yeah.
You're not dead.
Yeah,
dead.
well, whenever you run out of cards,
When you run out of
completely.
cards, you're dead.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
played everything in your hand too, yeah, then you're dead. But there are thief cards that let you take other people's cards or
Donate your
reshuffle
hand.
stuff back into your deck and things like
And-
that.
and-
So you go through your deck multiple times.
Does the thief have that?
I don't know. I'm making
A
stuff
a lot
up.
of them have special cards where you
Yeah.
can.
You
put,
know way
put
more
discard
about this
back
game
on.
than I do. I just play it and have fun.
He's a little obsessive.
I really like this game. This is
But
why-
Eric's point is that if he pauses time, he discards 3 cards to be able to pause time, and we're trying to find
a certain
like
card.
a certain resource, like, oh man, we really don't have any runners, then Adam can use his ability while time is paused, and he can discard his cards to draw more, and then hopefully he gets a runner, but he won't play them.
Strategy.
Once he plays them, then the time would have to resume,
Right.
which is something that you really got to explain when you're playing with children, because they want to play the card and you're like, wait, not yet, because but with kids
Yeah.
sometimes you kind of cheat a little bit to
A little bit.
help
Just-
them out.
Sometimes it's more for the fun of the game
Yeah.
than it
Yeah.
is to be sticklers.
I don't really have a favorite, to be honest. I usually just stick with strategy, so whatever everybody else picks. Because there are, like, each character has, like, a type of resource card that's more likely to have in their deck. So, like, the wizard is
gonna
more
have
likely to have scrolls. The thief is going to have more runners, because, you got to run if you're a thief. Like, the
This makes
shields,
sense.
swords, and arrows.
I've never looked this far into it to make it make that much sense.
You got to analyze it, friend.
That's pretty smart.
And then also you look at what everybody's ability is. So we have a time pausing ability and a drawing ability. That's helpful. So then you might want one that has like defeating a certain type of card. So like a monster card or a person card or an obstacle card.
That's like if you're making a D&D party, you're not all going to go in as wizards.
Yeah. You try to make it evenly balanced.
Have a well-balanced party. So that's a good way to look at it.
I'm the balancing act. I'm like, okay, well, what do we have? I'll just pick whatever else is left, because I don't necessarily have a favorite. I
see you more as a flying trapeze girl.
Okay. I think that still requires a lot of balance. I do prefer when he plays as the wizard, because having that time possibility is so nice, but you have to be super careful when you're using your ability that you don't overuse it, because a lot of people, especially their first time playing, they'll just be like, oh, I'll just use my ability, and then they run out of cards, and you can't beat the boss. But
there's also 5 different bosses that get increasingly
difficult because, number one, the number of cards that you use increases each time, but also like the resources become more difficult. The final boss has where you need like
the hardest one is impossible.
3 of almost each.
We've been here multiple times.
With 3 people?
Oh yeah, we beat it.
Yeah, we didn't even come close last time we
3
played.
people is a little bit more challenging.
Yeah.
The less people you have, the harder it is.
You closer
Right.
you get to time being run out for us.
Right.
But
I don't think we've ever really lost.
Yeah, we never really
if-
lost. Which
with
is
4
why I'm
people.
glad, definitely not with 4 people, which is why I'm glad I didn't play with you guys, because
But we
now
might
I
have-
can still say I've never
we might
lost.
have won though if you would have played with us that day.
You might have,
Because
but
then we would have 4 people instead of 3.
But there's also an expansion for this game, which adds another character, which is the shaman. And I don't even know what the other side is.
he's not excited at all about it.
Yes. Basically, it is dealing with one side of it is dealing with a new mechanic that it actually introduces to the decks. Induces.
We're inducing labor.
Yep. It's
All right,
having
babe.
babies.
Oh, not me,
Not me.
Basically,
Eric.
that was a food baby. It basically adds curses to each boss's deck, essentially.
So the dungeon doors,
as if the dungeon doors weren't enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, now they're cursed.
And the curses are some examples of curses.
The timer cannot be paused.
Yes.
So it shuts off time stop.
Yes. And that's for the first boss.
And it stays.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. These literally stay, and you can't get rid of them unless you have
cleanse.
And I think the deck has some cleanse
this
cards.
just moves it to the bottom.
But there are some cards that like events or whatever you can remove a curse.
There's a few funny ones
in their deck.
Yeah. There's a few funny ones, like you can only use one hand.
So we tried that, and they didn't believe me that you were only supposed to play with one hand to like do everything, to like draw and to whatever.
So your pile of cards are on the table. Then.
So I don't even remember what you guys were doing that was weird and different. But I was like, that's not how you play. And then he looked and he was like, oh, you're right. I'm like, what else is new?
Another really funny one is
we didn't have that one.
Yeah, we didn't. We stopped using the curses after
we got way too confused.
Yeah. You can only say waffles.
Which is really annoying
only
because
say waffles.
Yeah, because people are like, "What do you need?" Like you can't. No, like so we're looking at the thing, and as you play the cards, you usually say what you have. So like if you need 2 runners and 2 swords for a card, you'll be like, "Oh, 1 runner." So that makes it difficult because then you're just like waffles. So everybody has to like look and make sure that they see what everybody's playing.
This is why I remember not looking at the expansion and then not buying it.
I'm not here for it
because I didn't like any of those curses and they were ridiculous.
I believe that it adds a nice challenge to it.
I'm not here
you
for
have
it.
more people.
I'm not here for it.
I like the extra character, but I didn't like the curses and all
then
that stuff. What are these foil things?
This is what it. Artifacts. So each character card gets an artifact. And they have
the artifacts go beside the boss.
Each character can use it though, like because this says Ninja Thief, yes. So only the ninja and thief would use it.
No, you use the ones that you're not using. Huh? So like, say,
how did that make sense?
That's what the rule says.
You use the ones you're not using.
Yeah. So like, say I have the wizard.
So you pick the ones for characters that are not on the table.
Yes.
Okay. That's a
better
explanation.
Yeah, semantics are important.
So basically, but like, they usually are like what basically that character is all about most of the time.
Give us an example.
Right.
Okay, like the Rainbow
Herb, which is the Huntress and Ranger, says all discards add your discard pile to the bottom of your draw pile. So like.
Instead of discarding, you put it back?
The Huntress Ranger has like some healing herbs stuff that cards that they play, so you can put your discard pile back on. So it's so that you don't run out of cards. Thief. Yeah, it's so that you don't run out of cards.
Right.
Yeah. The battle axe defeat.
They're pretty. Those cards are really pretty.
Oh yeah, I love the artwork on these. These are
they're shiny and like foil.
So I want to know from you guys too. Do you like the expansion for 5-Minute Dungeon, or do you not like the expansion for 5-Minute Dungeon? Put it in the comments.
It's a no for me.
No, I can imagine it's a no for me as well.
It's a yes for him.
I would love to actually play a little bit more with it, especially if I have like a full 6 players.
So Eric needs some friends to be able to play the game with him.
So if you want to be Eric's friend, please put it in the comments.
I got no friends.
Comments are going to be empty on this show. They're going to be deleting comments just to make sure you're not their friend.
Sorry, Charlie.
Yeah, that's really... It's one of my top
it was your top pick?
It's his go-to game.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's we're going somewhere and we're having a game night with friends. Okay, I'm taking 5-Minute Dungeon.
It's quick. It's easy to learn. And even if you don't like it, you only wasted like 5 or 10 minutes playing it anyway and learning how to play it, so you can move on to the next game.
Yeah.
So it's a really good filler, but if you do like it, or if you have, like you said, different age groups, it's good for all age groups.
So,
because you can match shapes and colors.
There are only 5 bosses, so if you don't pause time ever, that's 25 minutes. So, like your maximum time is going to be under an hour if you play it the whole way through.
Yeah.
If you win. Right. I know you don't really get that feeling.
You call me a loser?
No, you won the first time that we played it, the four of us together.
Oh, we usually win.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, it's not a very hard game if you have anyone.
And if you don't use
all.
the expansion.
Yeah.
Well, we weren't using the expansion.
I know.
But it's fun because
I'm not here for it.
It's chaotic.
That's why he loves it.
It's just, like I said, it's all the stuff I just said, but it's also total chaos to play.
Because it's fast paced and everybody's trying to communicate at once.
What it kind of reminds me of is kind of like Pit. I don't know if you ever played it, but it basically, it's a very loud, quick game where everyone's trying to trade. Like in Pit, you're trying to corner the market, so you're trying to get like all of one card and all that stuff.
Corner the market. Oh, sorry. Okay.
But yeah,
Is it kind of like Spoons then?
Spoons.
Yeah. Okay.
Spoons
I've played Spoons.
one.
You played Spoons,
I've played Spoons.
Yeah, Spoons.
I never
Ashley's
played
favorite
Spoons.
game.
I just asked you, and you said yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you? You saw that, right?
We did.
Yes, I know what Spoons is. but
I said, have you played
Okay,
it?
rewind the video, see what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Evidence.
Eric, yay!
Story of your life. But now you guys made me. There was literally something I was going to say, but I completely forgot what it was. Because Eric had to go talking about Pit. Oh, I realized why this game, like why it works, why I can play it. It's because everybody's talking at once and it's really loud, and that's literally my childhood. That was my childhood growing up. I mean, I'm the youngest of 6 kids, so
wow.
Yeah.
Really?
You did.
Yeah.
I've told him this before.
Yeah.
Your memory's going, old man. So I'm the youngest of 6 kids, so like to be able to be heard, number one, you have to be loud, which is why I'm loud. I know you've commented on that.
It's funny that you said that you're loud, and that's the quietest thing you've said all episode.
Do you want to fight?
No.
Okay. So that, and then also there's always a lot of conversations going on at
My
once.
shins would be really beat up at the
When I...
Because you're short.
So, when I came back from college, I actually had like culture shock almost coming back to my house with like my whole family because everyone was talking over everyone and nobody was like, I was like, I can't do this. I'm not used to it anymore. And it gets really frustrating. But like with this game, that really works because it's chaos and you're used to it. Like everybody has to talk over everybody. And it's really good if you have the skill of being able to hear, no, they already have the runners covered. We're good. Like, you know, pay attention.
It's like a holiday dinner at a Midwestern family's house. Because
I wouldn't know.
Every dinner in Chicago is everybody talking and yelling over each other.
An earthquake struck in Chicago today. Am I seeing that video?
Did it really?
No. To my siblings who are hopefully watching this, you get the reference. If you don't, look it up.
I feel left out.
We'll look it up.
I don't know the reference either. So.
Okay, good.
Look it up. If you find it.
High five for not knowing anything.
Ow.
If you find the reference before Adam figures it out, put it in the comments, and you'll get a shout out in the next episode.
You'll find it before me because I'm not going to look it up.
That's because he's a loser. Anyways.
But yeah. Definitely a high recommended game for me. But for other people, it's...
He's just burnt me out on it, really.
Yeah.
I'm just like, do we have to play it? Well, that's all we got for 5-minute dungeon on
that
this
was way
episode.
more than 5 minutes.
But it's a short episode.
Do the thing.
Like, follow, and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Don't forget.
Hit that bell. Ding!
Yay!
Yay!
Imagination.